Are you looking for a way to build ways to sell your affiliate products into a nice looking box without paying for a program like Amalinks Pro or AAWP? Look no further. You can build one pretty fast and easy using GenerateBlocks, which is from the maker of GeneratePress. Free, and basically you can create your block, build it into a reusable, and then you can drop in the reusable block, and after you drop in that block, convert it over to a regular editable block, and that way you can just keep replicating out what you need. In the end, what we're going to have is something that looks similar to what's right here, box. And this is just a general layout. I used orange just because it stands out so much, but you could easily do it in multiple different colors, and you have the ability to do custom colors. So you're unlimited as to what you want to put into the block itself. Hey guys, this is Josh. Today I just wanted to talk about building a block with GenerateBlocks for your non-Amazon sales. Typically, I would use something like Amalinks for anything that was trying to sell my Amazon-related products because they can integrate with the API and pull in the information I need. For the non-API, basically your miscellaneous programs, you're just going to have a URL that you got to use, and then if you're lucky you'll have their images. Having something that can help you create a nice and favorable block is helpful because that's really where money is. I mean, everybody can talk about selling Amazon and making 11 cents on a $50 purchase, but if you can make a $2,000 sale and at 8%, then you start to clear like real money, which means that you can scale. You may not convert as high a percent, but you will be able to make more money, which is what we're really all in this for. The affiliate space is really crammed full of a lot of Amazon salespeople or a lot of Amazon products. If you could find your way outside of Amazon's products, things seem to open up quite a bit. And then if you could present them in a nice way, then they do that much more a favor for you. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what I do with GenerateBlocks. There is no cost. You just go to generateblocks.com and you can actually download it. Then you just install it. So on your website, go to add new, and you go to upload plugin, and then go to browse, and then just go in and you'll find your plugin, open, and then install now. So what you'll see then is inside here is GenerateBlocks is there. So then you can do post, you can do add a new post, but we're going to go ahead and build it out here so you guys can see. I'm just going to put some spaces so you can understand and see it all put together as we go through step by step. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to first come in here and you're going to click on the add, and you're going to need to do a container. So this is basically what this orange is that's around our content here. It's the main container for everything. And you'll want to do spacing. Default is always 40. You can use this little 2 arrow over here to lock everything. I typically set it to 10 or 20. That way it's not super padded around. And then if you'd like to do a border, then this is where you would set a border. So the same thing, I would lock it. You can set it to wherever you think you like. I've typically been anywhere between 4 to 7 or 8, depending on what I want. Border radius, if you like the rounded corners, this is where you would set a rounded corner. So I've seen anywhere from like a 4 to 5 all the way up to much more rounded, and you'll see as it goes, it gets to be more and more rounded. You can actually get to like where it almost looks like a button. We'll go ahead and stick with like 4. It's just slightly around the edges. So then you can go to colors, and this is where you can change the border. So you can pick a custom color. You have the whole color wheel or the ability to paste in one, or just a normal color. So we're going to pick green this time, I think, just because it fits with my green theme on my website currently. And then you have other options, like you could add background images or gradients across the whole background. I'm not a big fan of having a whole bunch of colors necessarily, So next you'll come in here, and this is going to be where you're going to add a grid. And for this top one, which is what we're going to convert into this block up here, you're just going to pick narrow, like one block straight across. And then this is where you can align it. So I tend to do an align center. You can leave it as default for now. It's fine. Inside here, you're going to choose headline, which is what they use for GeneratePress, because it's basically a text block that can do everything. So when you add a headline, you'll see it looks like it's a header, and you want this font to be small. So you go over here where it says element, and you can just change it to a paragraph instead. So now we can do our top pick. And then typography, we'll go ahead and increase this, make it a little bit thicker. You can actually turn on advanced and actually change fonts inside these if you want. I'm not big for adding more fonts, but you can, and then you have the ability to do all the transforms. What I do though is on this, you're gonna, because otherwise if you do, here let me show you, if I do a background color, we want to do the same green so it blends in, but you see that bar goes all the way across. So since we want to keep this to just our size, what you want to do here is do inline width, which just makes that block as big as our text. From here, what you'd want to do is some padding. So typically when I do spacings, I do like 8 and 8, and then something like 20 and 20. You may have to play around with your text depending on what you want to put in there as to what looks best. Then what you want to do is come down here, and then if you like having an icon, which a lot of people do, you can actually upload icons, or you can just use their generals. I just stuck to these for now. So you could do something that's, you know, I like an award ribbon, right? Just like it was up here. And then what you can do is when you're inside here, you can actually come down here and select where you are in the grid. So you want to go to the container that houses that, and then you want to go to spacing. And then what you want to do is actually take this, and you're going to want a negative margin, right? Because you're trying to move this up. So it's kind of aligned with your border as it is like here. So when I unselect, you'll see that's pretty centered. You probably could make it a little bit more, but I'm not trying to be perfect. So I'll make it 35, which looks like it's pretty good. So now that we're back in here, you'll see this is 2 sections. So obviously one all the way across isn't going to work for us. So we need to go to this next add block. And what we need to do is grid again. And we're going to do 50-50, which is just a split. So now that you got those two, you see this is 50-50. And this is obviously less. What you want to do is click inside here and get this side container, right? Change it over here. You can change it by specific percent, or like I do, I typically just switch to 33, and then you'll see this one has a huge gap. So now you want to come over to this container and switch it over to 66. Now it's going to be 33% and 66%. You could come over here, you want the split to be a little bit more equal, and do like 60, and then do 40. Oops. Do 60. And then change that to 40, and then they're a little bit probably better split. So inside this box is where you're going to go to image. So you can just type image to search for it, and then you can either upload or media library. I'm just going to choose one of these. So this time we'll go with Surfer SEO. So it'll put the image in there, and then in here, same thing. You want to do headline. And then depending on where you're at inside your article, it's probably like an H3 to where this would fall under, so that your chain still works correctly. Because what you're looking for is, you know, these to stay in order as they're supposed to. Then you would say something like, you know, Surfer SEO You know, surfer SEO, rank post with style. And then you're going to do another one. You're going to hit the plus again. And then this time, headline again. But this time you're going to change to a paragraph. And you're just going to say, yeah, you can eliminate your you can keep going, write as much as you want to write. And then for this, so you have two choices. You can either come down here, add a grid, and do a wide button if you wanted it all the way across the bottom, or you can just add a button here. And they've got their buttons, which are much more fancy. Or you can add their button on the side like I've done here. So in this case, if you do that, then to make it wide, because it's not by default, you just come over here and I believe it's under buttons instead of button. You need to back over to buttons. And then what you see is fill horizontal space, which makes it take up all the space that's available inside that row. So it goes to that 60% that we set up earlier. And then from here, you can come back over to here and just do check price on web. So inside here though is where you put your URL as to where you want it to go to, but you can add an icon just like before. So you can megaphone, do whatever you want to do, switch it over to the right hand side. You can remove the text and just make it the icon. You can actually change this so you can make the icon bigger or smaller for yourself. You can change the padding if you need to change the padding. I wouldn't typically. And then from here, like colors, you'll realize it's blue and it turns to black on hover. So those are here. So normal color, we'll select that green that matches the outside. And then we'll do hover and we'll change that hover to the darker green. That way people can tell when they're on a button and it pulls them in to make a click, right? You can kind of do these and play around with the actual fill if you want to also, and then custom colors. So those ones are there. And then what you can do is border color, do like a custom, make it a little bit darker. And then what you can do is actually add borders. If you want to have a border, you actually go into spacing and then border size, and you can put like a little bit of a border there on the bottom. And then when you go down here, you see on the hover where we put that, it actually pops out that little bottom border. So what we can do is go over to normal, border color, pick that green and go to custom again. Do this teensy bit darker, maybe 2. Now that way there's a border on the bottom itself that's all taken care of and organized. So now we can save this as a draft. Oh yeah, we can go over here where we have this top pick. I'm gonna decide that I don't like black as my text. So you can come into here and go to colors, go to text color and choose white. That way it stands out. And then you'll see this is offset over to the side because you may not want it just at the position it chooses. So what you do if you want to change this location is just go to spacing, and the same place where you put in the padding, you can actually just add to the margin. So we would want to go to the left, and then you just go up however much you want to indent it, right? So you can do like 30, and that way it's pushed in just a little bit. Now we can save, and we will refresh, and now you see what this looks like on the front end. And we'll go ahead and add a few spaces here, right? And give ourselves a break in between. And now you'll see there's a little bit of a shadow that I did on this top one. versus no shadow. If you like the shadow, it's easy to do. I'll put the settings in there for the box shadow just because this is about the one I like, where it's only minutely perceivable, but you can tell that it separates itself out a little bit from everything. And so what you would want to do is go into here, and inside here you'd want to go back to your container and go to advanced, and you'd want to give it a class, and this class is shadow, for example. So now that it has this class, when you refresh, now you see the shadow because I've added this CSS to that actual custom CSS. That way anything that I give this shadow class to will get that drop shadow on the front end, and it makes it look a little bit more snazzy. And you can do a lot more. I mean, you can change your text around, you can clean it up the same way and find what works for you. When you build one that you like, so that way you could reuse it over and over again, what you want to do here is basically find your container. What you want to do is make sure you select the container, and you want to change it and add it to reusable blocks. And you can say, you know, my custom call to action, and then save it. And then what you'll see is down here, I could do a plus again. And then what you can do is you can do browse. If you don't remember the name, which is why I try to put these names very similar, so CTA just pulls up what I have. So if you're good, you'll name them that way, so it's easy to find them. Or if you don't remember the name, you can do browse all, and then reusable is over here on the right hand side. And then you want to go, oh, there's my custom CTA. That'll pull it back in. And normally these will all be the same. So if you keep it as a reusable block, if you change the reusable block, it changes it for everybody. So instead, what you do is just go convert to a regular block once you've got it in place. And now this one's fully changeable from everything else. So this one could be our, you know, bottom pick, right? Save it. And now when we refresh, you actually have our top pick and our bottom pick. So you can easily use this to give yourself a chance to fill in and make your own custom CTA blocks without paying anybody for outside tools. The benefit of the tools is that, at least as aligned to Amazon, is they increase your speed. Since they can import from the API, it can do all of this for you, and you don't have to do the organization this first time. But if you set this up the first time how you would like them to be for your site, then you're already done. Now it's just a copy, you paste it in and convert it into a regular block and change out whatever it is on it every single time, change the URL, change out your text, and done. And you've got something that you can repeat all over your website that you've built once and can now help you do the rest of your site nonstop. And beneficially, if you're doing this and you decide you need a new button, so you go in here, you can go to buttons, and then you can do stack vertically. So this could be, you know, check price on Amazon, and then this one could be check price on Walmart. And see how that goes? Add yourself a little bit of space between them. Save this. And now you've got one where you've got two buttons to lead the users to whichever are the ones that they're interested in making the purchase from. So now instead of locking them into just a single block, you could actually customize and keep adding as many buttons as you needed to. If it was, you know, 2 or 3 or 4 options, you would have no problem being able to add them and put them in place. So hopefully this has been exceedingly helpful for those of you who are affiliate marketers. I really like to do affiliate stuff for things other than Amazon, because while they may convert less often, they tend to pay off dramatically better. And I could do a month's worth of Amazon sales in a day or two on a good day on my website instead with outside people. So even if the conversion rate would drop from 10% to 2%, that 2% makes me more money, which is what we are about in the end, is helping our visitors, but making sure that the income we get is beneficial to us also. As always, I'm always interested in the questions and comments you guys have, and I try to answer everything every time. If you have any, put them below, and if you could do me a favor and like and subscribe, and I would love to do more for you. I love ideas. Anything you guys put in the comments really helps me figure out what would be the best use of a video that will net the most results for you when you're trying to build your business. And I know not everybody has the money up front for $67 for a license to get themselves Amalinks Pro. I would tell you, if you're going to be an Amazon person, then finding one of those plugins is probably well worth the time and money spent down the road. But on day one, you can start this way, even with Amazon, and just get yourself in place and get yourself started. And you can make easy boxes and list out, number 1 ranked, top ranked, bottom ranked, whatever you need to put, best beginner, to help you make those initial sales and get access to the Amazon API. I mean, if that's what you got to do, then that's what you got to do. But I hope this helps everybody out, and I hope to hear from you guys in the comments. Let me know, and I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you all. This is Josh from ProBloggerIncome.com signing out.